Render is about to shock the world and I will tell you why. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Doc and today's video I'm going to explain to you why Render will shock the world in Q1 and also give you my Render bull run top price prediction. So let's start this video off with what's actually going on with the Render price since my video of last week. So during last week's video, Render was actually at the top of this range and I actually gave you the next resistance level at $8.50 and also told you that between 717 and 682 would be a really good buying zone. And as you can see, Render went to the resistance, got denied and entered the buying zone. And this is what I always do at the end of the video. I draw the green lines for support. Support means it's best to buy here. And the red lines are resistance. Like these are the lines you can take some profits if you hold zero cash. I even called this exact bottom on Twitter as well. Because as you can see on Twitter, I drew all the resistance levels and the support levels. And I even said that in the event of a liquidity grab, 690 to 718 would be an incredible buy and 690 was the exact bottom of the dip so far. And again, at the end of the video, I will talk more about my short-term and long-term price prediction, also give you every buying opportunity and selling opportunity about Render. But now, let's move on with the video. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is a 21 shares Render ETP. I mentioned this one in previous video and I said that you should always look at the assets under management. And right now, as you can see, the assets under management has increased from 1.6 million, which I talked about in a previous video, to 2.6 million almost, and it keeps growing. The other thing about this is when I talked about the last time on YouTube, Render was actually trading around $10 and this price was actually like $24. So the investments in the 21 shares Render ETP have grown by a lot, because when Render goes up by 50% again, this number will be like 4 million. So there's more and more institutional money investing in Render, which is really big. And I've shown everybody before this as well, but their Solana ETP has like over $1 billion assets under management. So with 21 shares, the sky's the limit. And in my opinion, the real power of 21 shares is not coming in Q1 and will be for the blow off top, unless this number starts skyrocketing by millions a week. Then of course it will have a huge impact on the Render performance in the first quarter. But 21 shares isn't the only thing that's looking bullish right now, because Grayscale is actually also increasing their size of Render in their decentralized AI fund. Because if you didn't know yet, during summer when actually Render RNDR migrated to Render, the Render size of the decentralized AI fund was only 5% and now it's already 20+%. So in like half a year or even like 5 months, Grayscale, like the biggest crypto assets manager in the world, has actually increased the Render size 4 times in their decentralized AI fund. So this is very big again. But once again, this isn't in my opinion big for Q1. It will probably be big for the Q4 when the blow off top happens. But it's always nice to see that these big institutions are getting more and more bullish about Render, because what's coming in Q1 will FOMO a lot of people into Render. Because in Q1 again we have the Nvidia earnings. So this time we have the Nvidia fourth quarter financial results, and the fourth quarter is always the most important one of the year, and it's on February 26th. And everybody always tells me, Doc, you always talk about Nvidia earnings, it's always a sell the news event. But it isn't about the sell the news, it's about the pumps towards the event. People still don't understand that buying Render 2-3 weeks before the event starts has been the easiest money of the last 1.5 years. And if you don't believe me, let's just take a look at the charts. So the first one we're gonna look at is the Q3 earnings of 2023, which happened in November. Like, look at how fast the price goes up. This is the bottom, so we're talking about November 14th. Then we're going to the top Nvidia earnings, which is literally 6 days later. 80% in 6 days. Then we move on to February. So we're here at the end of January, which I'm expecting the same thing to happen again. Look how choppy January went and look how fast March was. So this is the end of January. Then we go up to the Nvidia earnings, which literally happened here, plus 132%. And this time it wasn't even a sell the news event, because we kept at this high, went to a liquidity grab and went up again. But no, it's happening way more than 2 times. So let's take a look at May. What happened in May? On the 22nd, Nvidia earnings once again. So let's take a look again. So we're at this bottom right here. So at the end of April or beginning of May. So in 22 days, it's like plus 70%. And let me also remind you that in May, everything went down. Like Render was the only coin going up. Everything else went down. And it's pure because of the strength of the Nvidia earnings. In August, we had it once again. So let's take a look at this bottom here. On the 5th of August, what happened at the end of August? Nvidia earnings. Plus 93%. And then let's take a look at November, which had the last Nvidia earnings. We were here at the bottom, literally on November 5th. Let's go to the earnings, which was here, 103% gains in like 2 weeks. And then it actually went up again, even more. So as you can see, every Nvidia earnings event, Render went from like plus 80, 100% up in like 2 to 3 weeks. It's not a coincidence. It's gonna happen again because Nvidia earnings is the biggest AI event in the world and Render is the biggest AI coin in the world. And last time in February, Render went up 132% and after that it went even up like 300% and this wasn't a bull run. Now we're in a bull run and nobody believed in January when we had this kind of chop, when Render went from $5 all the way to $3, nothing happened, that this could be possible. Nobody ever believes that this is possible until it happens. And that's why I want to encourage everyone to just stay calm, DCA your bags, and take profits when it starts heavily pumping. Because February and March are the most bullish months in a bull run and they're here in less than 20 days. So we shouldn't be worried. We should just stay calm, buy the dips, which I'm gonna talk about at the end of the video, and make great profits because we all deserve this because we have held Render for such a long time. But this is enough for this Nvidia news. Let's move on with the other things. Because what's also important is the amount of holders which keeps growing. Even though the market is going down, the amount of holders has still increased by almost 2,000 this week, which is very nice to see. I'm expecting this number to start increasing by 10-20,000 a week in the beginning of February and even going up maybe by 100,000 a week once Render goes parabolic in Q1. But this number is really underestimated because the more holders we get, especially when you go across all-time high, when Render reaches all-time high and goes beyond, 85,000 people will be in profit. Almost nobody will be selling because they're all in profit. So there will be actually a supply shock coming and that's why it's so important for Render to break all-time high. But until then, we just keep in mind that the amount of holders is actually rising in a terrible market right now and this should actually make you more bullish about Render even though that the price is going down. So now let's move on to the second part of the video, which is my short-term and bull run top price prediction. But before I do this, if you want to receive a $1,000 airdrop, just go to the top of the description and click on the Maxi landings link. Once you're at the link, you will see Maxi and .crypto at the top and you can see that you can claim a $1,000 position airdrop. This link is without KYC. This means that people from the USA, Canada and in the entire world can join this event. event. And all you gotta do is create an account, deposit money, and claim your free $1,000 airdrop. The event ends in 11 days, so don't miss out on this event. It's an exclusive deal, and $1,000 can change your life in a bull run. So before I do my short-term price prediction, let's take a look at the new support levels and also resistance levels. So a few easy support levels I always like to draw are basically the exponential moving average of the 200 days and the 100 days. So if we take a look at them, you can see that the 200 days has actually moved to like $6.91, which was basically exact the bottom here. We got the 100 days, I think, at like $7.25 right here, which could be an important support level if we go up again. Then of course we have our bottom range, which is also a nice amount of liquidity that could be grabbed. We can also take a look at our Fibonacci levels, so it's really easy to do. All you gotta do is take the bottom and go up to the top. So let's just take the Fibonacci out. A lot of people want me to explain this, so all you gotta do is go to Fibonacci. For support levels, go to the bottom and then draw to the top, exactly the wick of the top. And you can see that we have some interesting levels here as well. So as you can see, the 0.618 is at 0.07. So that's also an interesting support level, but we already have a few lines there. Another support level could actually be this. Like this is of the event of a massive liquidity grab. But it's always smart to have like orders around this level. So let's make this one green as well, so it will be easy to remember. And that's around like $5.77. So this could always happen because we have this wick here. And a lot of people would have bought this wick and it could be retested. It's basically the same what happened here. So we went down with the liquidity grab, went up again, and we took out all the people who bought here and then fully sent it. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a really interesting price to take a look at. So let's delete this Fibonacci again, and we can see that we have 4 important support levels. Then we can take a look at resistance levels. So resistance levels is basically the opposite side. So we go from the top and go to the bottom here. So we can see that the first big resistance level was the Fibonacci 0.5. which actually got denied as well. So this is a perfect example about how strong Fibonacci levels are, because as you can see, it was the perfect resistance that happened. So this is not luck, because a lot of traders and people with a lot of money use these levels and actually sell on these as well, a double top here. So we're going to take a red line here for support, because this will be an important support level, as well as basically this range which we're still in. But then we can take a look further as well. So as you can see, we got an important Fibonacci 0.618. Then we got actually this weekly level here, which is at like 10.3. So we're going to take this one as well, because this is resistance. And then this 10.6 could be resistance, but it's not that important. The next one will be 11.8. So let's make these ones red again, and then we can talk about those short-term price prediction. But always remember, we buy the green. Like we buy support and sell red. But in price terms, we buy red and sell green, because you want to buy when it's going down and sell when it's going up, not the opposite around, because people get a lot of FOMO. Last week around $8 I made this video. I talked about these support levels you should buy here, and I'm pretty sure when this went up to like 9, a lot of people got FOMO because they saw big green candles and they bought. And they actually, if they actually waited 1 week, like literally 1 week, they could have bought the levels I was talking about. But for my short-term price prediction, you actually have to look at the resistance and the support levels. So we could actually go down here, or even more here for a liquidity gap. If it would go down here, not exactly here, because a lot of bots will buy this, but maybe here, then the uptrend will be very, very big. Like this is a lot of liquidity, and will probably push really hard here. But let's say we're gonna do it really slow and steady, and next week is really bullish. Then the first big thing, well, this is $8. So this $8, maybe we'll just burst through it just like we did here, or maybe stick around here and then retest it like we exactly here did here, a little bit below. It's not necessary. And then try to attempt this $9 again. This might be a triple top, which we don't want to see, but the market could be bullish and we could be actually going to 9.70, which again is resistance, Fibonacci level, but in the best case, we just test this 10.3. And this is where the short term will go into long term. Like this 10.3 is basically the last resistance level before we go to all-time high. So this was previous support, which got resistance, which basically went into resistance. So this is what we call a support resistance flip. When we go actually above this, maybe test like this 11.8, we come down to retest this, but then as support and go up to all-time high. So this is basically the most ideal short-term scenario, but we also have these support levels which could be retested. We got liquidity here, and this is why I always tell on YouTube, on my Telegram and Twitter to have extra money for these kinds of dumps. You should always have cash to invest. Not financial advice, but you shouldn't be fully invested ever, because you will get dips, and these lines are so easy to draw. Like last week's video, I drew these lines, the exponential moving 200, it was the exact bottom, because a lot of people trade with this. Like the Fibonacci 0.5 was the exact top, and it's the basics, and all you have to do is have patience, and that's what I'm trying to learn to you. But now, this was my short-term price prediction. Let's get serious and move to the long-term bull run top price prediction. So when I do a bull run top price prediction, everybody knows that I like to start with the Fibonacci retracement from the top. So really easy, we take the top of the last all-time high, go to the bottom basically of the summer, and then we actually see the higher time frame resistance levels, and they got pretty tested as well. As you can see, the first time we had resistance here at like the 0.382, which got denied. We went up to like the 0.5, which got denied, to like the 0.618, got denied, got tested here as a 0.786, got denied, and we actually got resistance. So these lines are important, but let's just talk about how far render can go, because that's really more important right now. We talked about the short term. So the first important step that we have to do is break this all-time high. So there's two possibilities to break all-time high. One is we just go above all-time high and then get a big dump. So this is not what we want to see, but it's definitely possible. Get a support resistance flip here. The other thing what I see with other coins is that we get a small dump to like this play, and then we test this one again. So the 1.618, which is definitely is very important target. And then what we can see in a liquidity grab, like this is the most bullish scenario, is that we actually drop down really fast, like a liquidity grab, to like the 1, so the previous all-time high, and then start moving on to the 2.618. This is exactly what coins like Sui did. So this is something very common, and this is almost exactly what Render did last year, because as you can see, if we take this top right here with a smaller Fibonacci, like back then it wasn't small, at like $5.20, and we just draw the lines to like the bottom, we can see that Render actually pushed in one time to the 2.618, got retested at 1, like this is really heavy liquidity grab, and then pumped exactly to the 4.618. So that's at $12, and I'm expecting the same thing to happen again, that Render just pushes to the 4.618, and nobody, literally nobody besides a few people and me, believed last year that Render, after the dump from 5.28 to $3, could pull this off, could actually send from $3 to like $13.60 in a couple of weeks. It happened in 5-6 weeks, this pump, not more, not less. And it's going to happen again, because just a reminder, when nobody believes in it, it's happening. We never get pumps when everybody thinks it's going to pump. So yeah, my target right now is $50. So the 4.618, this is my bull run top target for Q1. So if we go parabolic and everybody gets into the AI hype and we see a strong amount of new holders and price action being excellent with like 50% pumps in a day, then of course we can take a look at 100. And again, in Q4 we could have a bigger rally. Like we could go down in like Q4 from like 50 all the way to like let's say we could even go down to 17. This isn't unhealthy. Solana did the same in 2021, and then from this just move to this. This is exactly what Solana did. And it would be even less of a market cap than Solana in 2021. So it's definitely possible in terms of market cap. But the first thing we're gonna focus on is break all-time high, look how Render reacts. Will it push through? Will it get denied hard? Will it send hard? And then we can move on. But for now, as Q1 2023, my bull run top price prediction for the first half of the years remains around $50. And in my opinion, not financial advice, a top AI coin like Render should be able to reach this kind of number. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Be sure to like the video if you did. Also follow me at TheRealDoc on Twitter to know when I talk about Render price targets, sell targets, bullish Render news and my thoughts about the market. Also, if you want to know when I exactly sell and buy and everything, just join my Doc Crypto Lounge. The link is at the top of the description and on the pinned comment. This group is entirely free and this is where I literally talk about everything I do with Render and how I feel about Render. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more crypto and Render videos, and YouTube until the next time.